Today I've got a review of the Olight PL-Mini 2. This is a new weapon light designed for compacts and subcompact pistols. It is the successor to the PL-Mini which I have above. Thanks to Skybin for sending this to me to take a look at and test at the range. Packaging for the Olight PL-2 Mini is like other recent Olights with a white, high-quality cardboard box. Inside you have a pull-out trail covered by a cardboard cover that contains the manual and a right-angle Torx key, T6 and T8. The light and charger itself and all the accessories come housed inside a plastic form-fitted container. Included accessories are the PL-Mini 2 itself, the Olight magnetic charger, which is special for the Weapons series lights, a metal 1913 rail piece, the Glock piece is pre-installed, 2 extra screws, a T6 T8 torque wrench. Skybin also includes this little USB flash drive like style key, like a LED light, and a little extra battery holder, even though the PL-Mini uses internal batteries. This light's built from anodized aluminum with a fairly smooth gloss finish. The rear and left buttons here are plastic in feel and only hinge down. When I compare it here to the original PL-Mini, you can see the PL-Mini 2 is shorter but a little bit thicker in diameter. I'll go more into that here in a minute. The big difference is the mounting system. It's the same quick detach lever as the original PL-Mini has. This one pushes out to make it easier to come off, and what that means is it's easier to come off and it doesn't drop free. So when I have it attached as a weapon light here, I can unlock it and it won't drop free. It still's on the light, just not locked in place. So the other big difference here is this mount system, as I mentioned. It slides back and forth on these rails that you can see here. So you've got quite a bit of adjustability in it for length, and it does come off and flip around if you want to, although it's not how I recommend using it. So that allows you to fit on those compacts and subcompacts nicely. Here I've got a Smith & Wesson shield, and then I've got a Recover SHR9 rail adapter here, since the gun doesn't come with a flashlight or a mount on it at all. And the original PL-Mini doesn't actually fit on here. It does, but it doesn't lock into place. So not a good weapon light for this gun. Olight saw that problem, and that's why they came up with the PL-Mini 2 with that adjustable rail system. So I'll just slide it all the way out here. I push in, get it connected. Then I've got this adjustability. I put it all the way back and lock it down, and that is the process for mounting this light. That's the big difference. On the right-hand side here, it makes it easy to toggle with my finger, trigger finger. On the right-hand side, you can hit it with a off hand if you'd like. I do hit that quick detach, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But that's what this light's made for, that quick detach system. That's the main difference there. So like I said, this is what it looks like on a shield. I'll show it on a Glock 19 as well. So here it is on my Glock 19. Obviously this is too far forward on the Glock 19, so I pull it all the way back, lock it down, and it sits nice and even flush. It does hang down a little bit lower, especially than the PL-Mini, but it also doesn't stick out, which I like. For the 19, I've got to reach for it a little bit, but it's a nice little design there. A couple things to note is there's no Loctite on these screws here that hold the rail section onto the light. It hasn't been a problem for me, but just one thing to note, that you might want to back those out and Loctite them down if they ever did come loose. I was able to take the light apart, and inside there is a 130 milliamp hour battery, and it's got a black silicon gasket on the top of the lid. And I was a little surprised to see the light's mostly potted inside with a clear silicone type material. So that's always good to see. It should make it more durable. I had no issues with durability when I went and shot this light. I shot about 300 rounds through it with 2 different outings to the range from 4 different guns and 3 different calibers, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 45 ACP. A little bit of physical comparison between these two here. The PL-Mini 2 is 73 grams in weight versus the PL-Mini's 65 grams. Length at its shortest is 44 millimeters versus 53. Length at its longest is 52 millimeters versus the length of PL-Mini at 53. Width is 27.5 millimeters versus 28.5, and height is 32 millimeters versus 27. To sum that up, the PL-Mini 2 is shorter but has more height and width slightly due to the more complex mount system. For the LED beam, the Mini 2 uses a Cree XPL HD LED in cool white. In comparison to my original PL-Mini, the tint in version 2 is just slightly warmer but with a little bit of green tint. The reflector here is large and slightly increased in size due to the additional height of the light, and it seems to throw a little bit larger beam. The light throws pretty well for a reflector of this size. So with 600 lumens on such a small platform, you'll have a hard time dissipating heat, and this light's no different. Its brightest mode only lasts for about 2 minutes. The good news is, though, that the step down is smooth and slow, but significant. By that 11-minute mark, the light's about 10% relative output. It maintains this steadily for another 35 minutes before slowly decreasing down to almost nothing before shutting off at just at 100 minutes. For a weapon light, I think this is fine. It's not designed to be a light that's on long term. You're probably going to turn it on, deal with the situation, and turn it off. It's not something you'll probably need to have turned on your duty weapon for an hour or more. If so, this isn't the light for you. Here are my night shots for the Olight PL-Mini 2. And this is a weapon light, and it has one mode, which we've got here. So up close, at the end of my deck, you can see very bright, lights up, no problem. At the end of my fence, no problem. That's probably, I don't know, it's probably 40 feet away. You can see the end of the neighbor's fence, that's probably close to well over 100 feet away. And you can start to see across the street. Now, if this is on a pistol, I'd feel pretty confident shooting out to that neighbor's fence, no problem. But you can see here, it's a decent tint. It throws decently well. It's a little bit warm for an Olight, which is a little surprising. This is 600 lumens. Here is the old original PL-Mini, and you can see it's not quite as bright. It's only 400 lumens, but still throws to the end of my deck, to the end of my fence just fine, and gets out to the neighbor's fence okay. This is a cooler white tint than the newer light. So again, here is the version 2. It's a little bit green in the tint, and here is version 1. Both these make pretty solid small pistol lights. UI on this light's very basic with essentially no options on this light. The buttons have only really one option. You can press down to just come on, and it locks on. Press again to shut off. If you long press on it, it's in a momentary type mode, and as soon as you let off, the light shuts off. Recharging happens via this Olight magnetic charging port on the bottom. This does require the special magnetic charging system for weapon lights from Olight. This is a lower charge rate than the standard adapters that you're seeing for the bigger lights. This clear section here turns red when the light is charging and goes green when the light's charged. I find this really convenient. When the light's mounted onto your pistol, you can bring it home or slap it in a drawer, always charging, and as soon as you pull it off, the light's good to go. And the light does turn on while in that with the charger in place and charging. So the pros for me are, this is an adjustable solution that'll fit most compact and subcompact guns with rail support, or with an aftermarket rail like I've got on my shield here. Step downs are gradual and slow. They're not huge steps, but its initial 600 lumens only lasts 2 to 3 minutes. The cons for me are holster support. A few brands announced they'll be making holsters for this light. Olight still has a lot of work to do to catch up with more established brands of the pistol light for holster support. And if you are a left-handed shooter or want to hit that with your offhand, this top clamp, especially that sharp shoulder, does kind of get in the way. It really is best to be used from the right-hand side, in my opinion. I think Olight could design this maybe a little bit differently to improve that in the future. My conclusion is the PL-Mini 2 is almost a completely different light from the first generation. While they do similar things, the Mini 2 prioritizes its modularity to fill smaller compact and subcompact pistols and makes design decisions to accomplish this, such as increasing height, weight, and its overall shorter length to better fit those subcompact and compact framed pistols. As a weapon light, this works well. I don't have any complaints. The magnetic charging system is very convenient and works well for its size. My two problems are that quick disconnect lever, as I was showing just now, and like I said, I think Olight could design this a little bit differently, or at least put on a different designed handle here to make it a little bit smoother. The other main problem I see is holster support. There are just not very many manufacturers out there, and you're probably going to have to do a semi-custom option or a custom option to get your combination of gun and light. Be prepared to be buying custom holsters if you decide to run this light, as there's just not widely supported by the really big brands. As long as you know this going in, I think it's a really nice pistol light that will work well and has worked well in my testing. If anybody knows where I can get a holster for this thing with a shield with the Recover SHR9 adapter rail, let me know in the comments below. If you've got any questions, I'd love to hear them. If you're thinking of picking up a weapon light, let me know what you're going to put it on. As always, guys, I'll have a link in the description where you can pick this up if you're interested in any coupons if I have them. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video.